Truth is, I'm tired.
And a three. Welcome. Welcome to Tired Tuesdays.
Hello.
My name is A Natural.
And I'm Lenny Harold.
And this is Tired
Tuesdays. Yeah.
Today is interesting.
Yeah.
To say the least. Yes, we had a little bit of a late start. Sorry we were late.
Yeah.
But things happened.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't your fault. Your job had a meeting, and it was actually a really good meeting from what I could hear. So it was actually pretty dope. And today was a busy day for me too. You know how like when you're trying to do something and you know you have a schedule, like everything decides to go slow?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how my day was today. Yes. Like everything was moving in slow motion. So it was just one of those days. But it is what it is. I'm actually not tired because guess what I did before I came here today?
What'd you do?
Took a nap.
Oh, shit.
I don't take naps because I go to sleep.
Right.
So I actually took a nap and I was good.
Okay.
I'm good now. Yeah.
All right.
Amen. I'm going to go back to sleep after
that.
But I took the nap.
Because I had 2 secret yawns in my meeting that I was trying and usually now on any like Zoom or like Teams or something like that, I'd be like, I do one of these where it's like you scratch your face, you just cover the yawn and you keep it professional.
My God. Yeah. I don't know how to like hide my yawn. It's loud and obnoxious.
This is
all
awesome.
on my face.
This is awesome too.
Yeah.
Nat's whole face goes like this.
It's a whole face. So yeah, today was a good day. We were also late on a lot of things. We were late on getting up the clips from the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We were late on getting up. I was late on getting up the actual full video on YouTube this week. It didn't go up until like late last night.
Right.
It's just been a busy last few weeks.
Yeah. Literally the last 2 weeks have been just like a little all over the place.
And like unexpectedly busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
We got a lot of last minute things that people asked us to do.
Oh, a lot of last minute stuff.
And surprisingly enough, we got them done and got them done efficiently.
Yes. Yes.
Can we talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, we definitely can.
Okay, all right. So last week's episode, the day of, this one got a call that he had to tape a whole live performance for an event coming up.
Yeah.
And not just any taping, like, you know, not one that we had to do at the house, but it had to be like a showstopper type of thing.
Right.
And it was something that he knew about, but they didn't give him the actual date of when they needed the taping until Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we literally, like, the whole team, like his management team, his dancers, me doing sound and recording, like we literally got everything together in 2 days. Mm-hmm. A day and a half. Because you came by. We had Tired Tuesdays.
Yeah. Then
Wednesday you came so we could try to do some recording that we did not do.
Right.
And then Thursday we went and did the whole shoot live.
Yeah.
And
It was one of those moments where I was like, number one, I refused to stress because when I went to his house and we were sitting there trying to figure out how we were going to do this.
And it wasn't even my performance.
Right.
I was mad.
And he was getting mad. And then he was getting stressed. And I was like, You know what? When I saw him stressed, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to allow myself to stress. I was like, so let's see if we can figure out something else. Then my manager hit me about another location, which was going to be a lot easier and actually looked a lot better for what we needed so quickly. And the shit just came together out of literally thin air.
Yes.
And we filmed a really dope ass performance. Oh my God,
when y'all see this.
And it was edited beautifully by a new videographer that we just met. And shout out to Chris. And like literally.
Chris is the truth.
Yeah. He smashed this whole thing. And yeah, it's dope. So the event is Circle of Sisters. I got asked to do Circle of Sisters. So luckily.
For WBLS, for anyone who's not in the New York tri-state area, it is a convention that they do every year at the Jacob Javits Center. And of course, because this year, because of COVID, they're doing it virtually. So they wanted all the performances to be sent in virtually.
Yeah, and I had to send it in by Saturday.
Even though it's not for another 2 weeks.
Right. It's not until the 21st. So get your tickets so you can see that performance. All right. Because We put
it's
our whole bodies.
And if you have not seen him perform, like if you haven't been able to go to a show, like this will give you a really great idea of what a live show from him would look like.
Yeah.
And I say that not because I know him and because I was there, but because the way that we went about doing it was as if we were putting together like a real live concert for you guys. Yeah. With the sound and the lights and the dancers and the outfits and changes and all that stuff. It was really, really dope. Yeah. So
the lights alone were incredible.
And I went the lights. I pressed the buttons. It was me.
Nat got shown how to press the lights. When I tell you the joy.
Like a whole new person. I was like, all right. I touched the lights.
And shout out to Supreme Events for having us come through because seriously.
And they're black owned. Yes. The venue was beautiful. What? It was amazing.
Oh my gosh. Like I can't wait till all of this COVID stuff is over because we need to have a party. Yeah. Like seriously, we need to have a party. Yeah. And it needs to be there because the whole place is insane. Yes. The whole place is insane.
So I guess I can talk about something that I'm doing that was last minute that I didn't know about.
Yes, you better.
All right. So for any of you writers out there, songwriters, producers, if you're not affiliated with a publishing company, get affiliated with a publishing company.
Please do.
I have been affiliated with ASCAP since I was in high school, like 15, 16. Yeah. But I never knew the benefits of that until maybe like the last couple of years. Right. When I actually like went and had a meeting with the head of the urban music department, like saw what they were doing and they saw what I was doing. And they actually announced a workshop that they're doing called The Collective. And I submitted a couple songs for it, I'm thinking it's a workshop, like, just go and learn some things and talk to some people. Oh no, this is a whole songwriting competition. And I was selected to be a part of this competition out of like 120 different songwriters, to be one of 6 that would be competing for this contest.
And number one, that alone is an accomplishment.
Yes.
So
I did not know that was going to be a thing. Yeah. But what's really dope about it is that there's 6 songwriters and 3 producers that are split up into 3 teams. Each team is mentored by someone in the industry. So you have Eric Roberson, you have Andrea Martin, and you have Arden, who are all 3 very accomplished, Grammy Award-winning, multi-platinum selling writers and producers who are mentoring us while we're doing these songwriting competitions. And I'm grouped with a couple of people that I've never met, one other songwriter and a producer who are both amazing in their own rights. So it's a really dope situation, and we find out who wins next week. So there's
Putting in the work. Sorry, it's Tired Tuesdays. I'm yawning. I would try to do I did it the first time, but I'm not even going to now.
It is quite all right.
But yes.
So that is happening next week. Then there's a whole bunch of other jobs coming. Like I know, for some reason, like all of a sudden, I'm back in engineer, vocal producer mode. Oh yeah. Mad people started scheduling sessions, which is great. It's just now that I've done that, I'm super busy now. Yeah. So a lot's going on.
And it's so crazy. What I love about us is the fact that on that, what was it? That was Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah, on that Thursday, we're all riding to the location, getting ready. This one in the backseat conducting business, and you know what I mean. It was just like one of those moments where you're around like-minded people, and the growth. Like you have no choice but to grow because everybody else is growing around you and moving and shaking, handling their shit right, and I don't know. It's just stuff like that. It's just a blessing.
I did feel grown. In the car on the phone, I felt a little grown.
But you was handling it though. You was
that's only because of the business that I had to handle. It needed to be handled as if I was grown.
Right.
Because somebody was trying to tell me what they weren't going to do, and I had to tell them what they were. And how much it was going to cost.
Exactly.
And what they weren't going to do.
Exactly.
So
it's just dope.
Yeah.
It's dope. And then this past weekend we had our Friendsgiving super early.
Oh yeah.
Which was so much fun, and it was just good to just be around all of our people, and I don't know.
It's one of two that we're having. We're having a second one that I'm not going to talk about until it happens.
Right.
We're having a second one in December, even though it's not really a Friendsgiving.
Right.
Because it's kind of late.
Right.
But we're having a second one.
A holiday giving.
That some of you guys may be privy to and may be able to see, depending on how we feel.
Right.
So it's going to be a musical Friendsgiving.
Right.
But I will give you guys more information as we get closer.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's kind of recap from last week because a lot has happened. We have a new president. Bless God.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to see that.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I got the comments here.
Okay.
Wait, what she say? Lord, you better handle grown folks' business. Amen.
Listen.
I mean, we grown. Got to handle the business.
Okay.
Yes. We have a new president.
So we do. It's projected.
We have a new president.
It's projected.
We have a new president.
It's
projected. And I don't care how projected it is. It could be projected on the wall. On
the
floor.
Because I was very happy. But then after I sat down and realized it, I was like, it's projected. It's not official until he concedes.
It's not. No. Conceding is not a law. Conceding is a tradition. And that's what I looked up. He doesn't have to concede.
I know.
So him trying to stay in office, his ass will be removed by force if necessary.
This is the end of this year is going to be a shit show. Trying to get him out of the office. It's going to be a shit show.
The only thing that could possibly happen to change the outcome of what we know to be the election is if some votes get counted that we had no idea were being counted and they swing in 45's favor.
Right.
The only thing is all of the officials, all of the experts, all of even people from his party are saying, bruh, you lost.
Right.
Chill out.
Right.
Just let it go. And the reason why this needs to happen, something I read earlier today was like, Republicans feel like they're the only ones that are supposed to win elections. Because if anyone else wins, it's cheating. But if they win, it's because, everything was done properly.
Right.
And yet, whenever Democrats have won, they've never complained about voter fraud.
Right.
They've never complained about anyone cheating or anything like that. And even when they've lost, they've never complained about stuff like that. They've asked for recounts, but it's never been to this degree of selfishness and entitlement and just downright, difficulty.
Because it's Georgia and Nevada that still aren't finished counting yet?
Alaska, Georgia.
Oh, yeah, it's in Alaska.
And Nevada. But the thing about it is Pennsylvania is finished. So at that point, he has the votes. He's already reached it. We don't care. We really don't care about the rest of the states, getting those electoral college votes.
I'm just really concerned. And the only reason why I'm concerned is because I'm starting to see a lot of videos on social media, unfortunately, of a lot of people just throwing out votes when they saw that it was Trump votes. And I don't know.
I don't believe that because there's no proof to it. And that's what every official has said.
Yeah, but where are these videos popping up from with these?
Because anything can be fabricated on a video. They have made people say things that they didn't say by using Facetune.
Yeah, this is true, but it's still just like you still gotta give it. I just want it's for me right now. It's the integrity of this country. It's like I understand that we had some voter situation even when he came into office. And even that wasn't even fully resolved the way that it needed to be resolved. You know what I mean? And then, with the potential, I'm just saying it's alleged that there was some more voter fraud and this thing. I'm just concerned about the integrity of this damn country. But
I think the integrity of our country has been shot for a long time anyway.
This is also true. But I just want us to turn a page and just get better.
Yeah, it's just going to take a while.
Yeah.
It's not going to be in the next 4 years. It's going to take a while because now we have to deal with all the shit that he's already started over the last 4 years.
Right.
And Biden's going to have to clean it up. And that's the thing about, I think we talked about this last week. Every time a Republican president follows a Democratic president, or the other way around, a Democrat follows a Republican, they always have to clean up the mess the Republicans made.
Yeah.
That's been almost every presidency.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a while, but I also know that at least Joe Biden is going full steam ahead. Like, he's already got his task force together for COVID.
Right.
They're already talking about the economy. Like, Kamala Harris said day one, her plan is to work on the economy for America's working families.
Right.
So it's just about holding them to the fire and making sure that they do what they said they're going to do.
Right.
They might not be able to do everything that they said they're going to do, but at least get it started.
Right.
Which is what Obama tried to do, which is what I think most Democrat presidents always want to do. I don't remember even having a Republican president who's ever said, I want to start doing this immediately for the American people. Everyone has just made either promises that they've broken or they've had agendas that never really served us. So it's about holding them accountable for what they said they're going to do. They're saying some courts have put him out because he's not showing any proof. This is also true. Like, a lot of the judges have been like, where's the proof? Right. Give us the proof and then we'll consider it. Right. But if you can't give us anything, then what is the point?
Right.
Concede and just take the L.
Right.
So yeah, but that was, an update to our conversation from last week about the elections. So this is not going to be another election post.
It's not.
Or
it's
episode, because
nobody really
talked about it enough last week.
Yeah.
Really what we're going to talk about today is something that we're doing in the next couple of weeks. We didn't post a flyer yet. I wanted to post a flyer today and I totally forgot.
Because you took a nap.
I did. And I was dead
and
to the
good
world.
for you for taking a nap.
Listen. And it was a good nap too. So anyway, on November 24th, we will be having our very first ever Tired Tuesdays talent show. What's the sound effects?
Right.
I don't know why that's the go-to sound effect. Pew, pew. Pew, pew. But we're having our first ever Tired Tuesdays talent show, and in preparation for that, today we wanted to talk about our experience with these talent
shows. Yeah.
Which we've both done a lot of auditioning and a lot of talent shows and contests, which I actually hate doing, by the way.
Yeah.
I do not like competing with music, but I'm going to take it back. I want to tell a story. I'm going to take it back to the very first time that we competed in something together.
What? Yes. I didn't know you was going to do that.
Because I just remembered it after we talked about it this morning. I was like, oh, we should talk about this. So...
At your school?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So in high school, I went to South Plainfield High School.
I went to Plainfield High School.
Yes. Basically, white, black. And what's so funny is we grew up, we've known each other since first grade.
Yeah.
But over the years, I had moved around a lot, so we lost touch after a while. But we finally got back in contact through his cousin,
right?
Ernie Gaines. Shout out to Ernie Gaines.
Word.
And your mother had saw me at a show.
Right.
It was an outreach somewhere when I was still in gospel.
Right.
And we reconnected at the end of 10th grade?
Was it?
Or maybe
10th?
the end of 9th grade, I think it was.
I feel like it was 9th.
Yeah, the end of 9th grade we reconnected, and
yeah, I feel like it was 9th.
It was like we just picked up like no time had passed.
Right.
And so we both were still very much into music. We started working on music together and all that kind of stuff. And so at my school, I had already won the talent show. I'm sorry. I had already won the talent show the year before as a freshman. And it was really funny because I hated high school and high school hated me. But the one thing I knew I could do was sing better than everybody else.
Right.
And so I had won in 9th grade, but I kind of had to share the win because it was a guy named Steve Ambielli.
You better give out his whole name.
Yes. He was in my choir class and he had wrote this song and played it on the piano, and he wanted to be in the talent show and needed somebody to sing the song. So he asked me and I was like, okay, no problem. So we did that. Wound up winning the talent show. I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is cool.
Shit. Yeah.
So that was before he and I, had reconnected. So once we reconnected, we were like, okay, so we just, we were singing places, visiting churches together, all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, I want to do the talent show again this year at my school. And they allowed people from other schools to participate.
Right.
It was a big controversy because they didn't want to do that earlier. They thought that it was like, a disadvantage to people that were already in the school and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, if they suck, it's not the other school's fault. Right. It just happened to be good.
Right.
But so at the time, of course, I was a big Brandy fan. And we both were big Brandy fans. Yeah. You were more of a Monica fan, but I was a Brandy fan.
At that time, it was definitely, I was Monica heavy, even though I was still loving Brandy. I don't know why I feel like I just needed to defend myself right there.
Because
you don't need to defend yourself.
You know exactly how they do. They always want to pit them against each other.
Right. Right.
So we decided and we had to do a pre-audition. Remember we did that?
We did.
We came to the school and we were in the band room and they asked us to sing a little bit of the song before we even actually did the performance. We had to audition to actually be in the talent show. And I remember it was crazy because you came late because Plainfield High School let out later than South Plainfield.
Right.
Another racist thing because they wanted the white school to get home before the black kids got out of school.
Listen.
So he came, we did our little pre-performance, and I should have known by then that I didn't have no voice to hit them high notes that Brandy was hitting. But I was like, let's do the boy is mine, but switch it to the girl is mine.
Right.
So we did our little audition. They said, yes, you can be in the talent show. So we wanted to spruce it up because I don't know, it was just, we just had it in our heads to do something that was bigger than what we would.
And I was a super stickler for giving all of this extra showmanship. Yes. And I was like, we have to put on a whole thing that's shocking to the audience.
Yes.
So
it started in your old house in your bedroom, and I remember you had a set of 2 VTech phones.
Yes.
If y'all remember the VTech phones, they were little walkie-talkies that you can get from Toys R Us.
Yes.
But they worked like phones, you could just talk, and if you were within range, you could have a whole conversation.
Right.
So we were like, all right, so in the video, Brandy and Monica, they're in their apartments. We can't really do that on stage.
Right.
But how can we make this a thing? So we decided to make it a phone call.
Right.
And that's how it started. But then we were like, no, we got to go bigger than that.
Right.
So
first I had to ask him how much access do we have to the stage?
Yes.
And so when he found out that we had pretty much
everything,
we could do whatever we needed to do, we just had to let them know what we were doing. And so I was like, okay, bet. Then we need to put on a full-on production.
Yes.
So
we got extras involved.
Right.
We had lighting choices.
Right.
We had the VTech phones.
Yeah.
And let me just lay this out for y'all.
Had folks handling curtains.
Let me lay this out for y'all how this went. So if you know how the song starts.
Right. Right.
I'm on one end of the stage. He's on the other end of the stage, and the curtain is closed.
So this is the stage. This is the stage. I'm on way over here on one side. He's all the way on the other side.
Right in the corners.
Right.
And so we come out.
The curtain is closed.
And we got the VTech phones. And I'm like, excuse me, do you know?
It was not like that, though. It was not like that. Let me just... It was not
we tried to reenact the whole thing from the song in the video. So it was she's mine. No, she's mine.
Right.
You need to get it. It was crazy. So we're singing our parts on both sides of the stage, the first chorus,
right,
and the first verse,
right,
and then right when the second chorus hits, the curtain opens.
Second verse?
Yeah,
it was second verse.
Okay, so second verse, the curtain opens. And then you see it was your friend Jennifer.
Right.
And Deanna.
Right.
And my cousin Sophia.
Right.
You see the 3 girls in the center, and we were fighting over Jennifer.
Right.
Jennifer was the girl that was supposed to be ours.
Right.
So you see her friends kind of egging her on, oh, these 2 dudes is fighting over you.
Right.
And so we're going back and forth trying to make her pick one of us.
Right.
Then the bridge kicks in. And mind you, there's strobe lights and, all this lighting going on or whatever.
Right.
And then the bridge comes in.
Right.
And at this point, we forgot about Jennifer and we're just battling each other.
We're so into this whole thing.
Into the fight scene.
Yeah.
My friend John comes from the side the girls tell Jennifer to like, scope him out.
Right.
So he scopes her out.
Right.
While we're fighting, he comes and takes her away and they leave.
Right.
Right.
Right. And so now we're standing there and
right.
we're like, where did she go?
But then at the very end of the song, we're saying, the not yours, but mine, not yours.
Right.
The two friends, Deanna and Sophia, they come and take each of us off the stage. Like, oh, so we still won. Right. When I tell you that the crowd went apeshit crazy.
It was a whole we didn't play. The production value of it was amazing.
And when it was crazy because that year, I was bullied a lot at South Plainfield High School. By a lot of my own peers, a lot of the black people. But my sister, who was a senior at the time, as soon as I finished the performance, she stands up, she's like, ew, what? Ew, what? Y'all don't say shit to my brother now. Ew, what? It was crazy. Oh my God. So then, everybody else performs and they start announcing the winners. So they had announced the best band, the best dance group, and then they even announced the best vocalist.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, well that's it. We didn't win.
Right. And we're standing on the side of the stage and we was like, what the fuck? Pretty much
because we put on a whole show.
We put on a whole performance.
Yes.
What is this? And in my head, I'm going, man, see, this wouldn't have happened at Plainfield High School. We would have.
That's what we thought. We were like, okay, well, maybe it's because of the fact that I got somebody from Plainfield High School, and it is what it is, or maybe I hit the wrong notes or whatever. Because again, I still didn't have the range. And then we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden they say, and now we're going to announce the best overall.
Yeah.
And they said James Foster and Glenn Adams.
Yeah.
For The Girl Is Mine. I was like,
we was like, what?
When I tell you. It was the shock to my system of life. I had no idea that was going to go down that way. Yeah. And literally from then on, we decided every performance was going to be a big performance. Yeah. Regardless of the venue, regardless of where it was, where it took place, everything was going to be an experience. Yeah. That was the first time that I actually won something. I think the year before, of course. I was about to say. But it wasn't my song. It wasn't my idea. It was somebody that I was helping out. Oh, got you. But this was the first time that I was the winner. Right. Overall, type of thing. Right. So it was just. I
still have those sheets in storage too.
What sheets?
The commentary. I still have all of that.
Oh, where they told me that I couldn't sing? Yeah, I remember reading that. They said, James sounded a little bit sharp on some of the notes, but overall the performance was Because I remember one of the judges came up to me. He was like, "Your performance was everything, but you were sharp on some of the notes." That's another reason why I'm always a stickler for the right notes. Because I will never be. You're not gonna get me again. I'm gonna make sure these notes are right. I just wish that we had the video of the performance.
I know there's no footage.
There's no footage. I don't know. I think didn't you on tape it?
I don't know. I want to say, but it's on those old camcorder devices that it's done now. I don't know. And it's so expensive to buy that old equipment to actually convert.
Or you have to go to somebody that that has that equipment.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I have it, and it might be
somewhere.
Yeah.
That was our first time. That was our first time performing together. Yeah, and we won.
Yeah, it was such a kick-ass moment. Yeah. It was such a kick-ass moment. I will never forget how. When the music came on and nobody knew what to expect until we started talking and everybody, it was this weird gasp that happened in the audience. And it was
especially when the curtain opened, they had no idea
and it was so many levels to the performance that nobody understood what the hell was happening next.
Nobody else that performed utilized the stage and the lighting.
The whole stage.
We were the only ones that actually thought about what the performance would actually look like.
Because it had to be an MTV, BET type
We was doing Beyonce performances before she was. Right. She got that from us.
Right. Tell me I'm lying.
Your mom asked if the school recorded. No, they didn't record anything. I've checked. My music teacher, Mr. Murray, he only recorded the concerts that we did in choir, but he never recorded the talent shows, which sucks. Man. So I don't know where that footage is, but that was my first time winning something big like that, and
it was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing. So
amen. You want to talk about one of yours? One of your solo ones, I guess.
What do I? I mean, I guess I start from
Apollo?
From high school too. I mean,
the following year.
Because I had a bunch of performances at the high school too, where and at that point I was discovering myself as an artist. So I was working with the team, and we had a whole bunch of music, and it was a song called "Turn It Up." I don't know if you were there for that one.
No, I have no idea what's happening.
And yeah. There was one before that. There was another performance before that. I don't know why that one's the main one that sticks out to me. But yeah. So and it was one of those things again. And it was just me in the middle of the stage. I was sitting on a chair. Then I had a whole bunch of girl dancers that came out. They came out on scooters, crossing each other, and then they vanished again. And then the curtains opened. I continued to do my thing, and then the girls came back out on scooters, and then they dropped the scooters. We went into a whole dance routine, and then the last curtains opened up, and it was more lights, and it was like a whole big ensemble of more dancers that came out, and it was like this big turn it up party. Yeah, because I was remembered in my school to always be the one to watch out for. Because we always had production value. And that was only because, and this is why I've always taken this with me throughout my career. Know who your engineers are, know who your lighting people are, know who your stagehand people are. Be nice to them, because they control your whole show and they can fuck your shit up. So even in high school, I was so good with everybody, like, and it wasn't just for that purpose. It was because I just loved everybody. And I loved the performing arts unit, like the whole thing themselves. And so, when it came down to like stagehands, everybody would make time for us and just like, yo, you need this curtain pulled, you need the lights changed on this. Like, just give us the cues. We know exactly. We had rehearsals in private areas that nobody else was allowed to be in because we were good with the teachers. It was like, I remember there was one rumor where they was like, yeah, I was going to be flying off of the balcony in the auditorium and land on the stage. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, if that's what you guys say that we're doing. And then after, it was all of that, like that just showmanship, you know what I mean?
That led to everything. I went to the wrong school, because Plainfield High School was known for that. Even when my father went to Plainfield High School, they were known for that. Yeah. Like South Plainfield was cool, but South Plainfield was more about sports and wrestling and football and classical music. Right. Like, we didn't have that big spectacle. I mean, their spring plays were also really dope. Yeah. Like, I was in one of those. Yeah. But
because the production values on the plays used to be phenomenal.
But when it came to just like the students being able to express themselves musically, like, they weren't really big on that.
Got you.
And Plainfield, like, that's why when I got to Plainfield, like, it was a culture shock for me too. Right. Because I was like, oh, this is what y'all do on a regular. This is different for me. I need some help. Right. But yeah, I think, let's see. I have one. Yeah. A solo one that scared the crap out of me. Okay. So I don't know if you guys all know, but, I'm sure a lot of you remember that Diddy had the Making the Band competition for several seasons on MTV. They had the one for Daddy Kane, then they had the one for Day 26, and then they had the one where you could be his band. Right. And originally everybody was like, oh, you need to drop for the Day 26 one. I was like, no, I'm good. I don't do groups. And then, at first I was like, well, maybe I should have, but I didn't. And I just wanted to see how it was going to go. But then they put the call out to be one of his background singers and musicians for Dirty Money. And I was like, now that I can do, because I've sung background for lots of people. I know how to arrange vocals. I know how to, do that part. That's something that I'm strong at. So I auditioned. Like, I went to the open call audition in New York, and there had to be at least 25,000 people that came out to that audition that day. The first day I went out there, had to be about maybe like 5 o'clock in the morning. My then business partners brought me out there. The line was already wrapped around the block near SIR Studios. And they gave you a selection of songs to choose from that you would sing. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, these are cool songs. I'm not supposed to go in there going for blood vocally. because I'm a background singer. That's what I'm here to do. So in the line, people are like practicing. They doing every riff and run they could possibly do. Just screaming. Right. Like, it was crazy. And I've been on the line before for like American Idol. Never got a chance to audition. I auditioned for McDonald's Gospel Fest. Didn't make it. Blah, blah, blah. So this line, I'm like, okay, this is something different. This is weird. And I know how these reality TV shows go, like, you know, American Idol, whatever. They're looking for people that might look a certain way and all that kind of stuff. But for some reason, I just felt like this was different. So I remember that day I had on these blue jeans that my mother got me from Korea. She went over there for a vacation, and it had this big, huge, like, peacock design on the side.
Right, I remember those jeans.
And I had a purple bomber jacket on, and it was raining.
I remember this whole outfit.
And I was so pissed off. And I was like, sir, what are you doing? And I think I had like a blue bandana or one of those, like, you know, Arab scarves.
Right.
It was like a turquoise blue that matched everything.
Right.
And I thought I was fly. My haircut was nice and everything like that. I finally get inside, and then it starts getting like really, really antsy. So there's a kid that's before me. I forget what song he was singing, but he was like singing to himself, and he was doing every riff imaginable. And he goes into the audition room. It took them 2 seconds to get him out of there, because he starts doing all his riffs and runs. He's like, nope, thank you.
Wow.
And I was like, oh shit, okay.
Wow.
So the song that I chose to do was All This Love by El DeBarge.
Okay.
And I did the verse. I started on the verse and got into the chorus, and they stopped me and they said, you're the first person to come in here to do that song. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they were like, I think I know you from somewhere. I think one of the judges was Rapture Stewart, producer. Okay. And he was like, I think I know you from somewhere. I'm like, right. I don't know you.
Right,
like,
right.
It is what it is. But he was like, okay. So they handed me this piece of paper, and they were like, so are you available tomorrow? And I was like, yes. So you made it through to the next round. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Right.
So I'm like, this is great. I didn't know I was gonna make it.
Right.
So went home, celebrated a little bit, came back the next day. That 25,000 whittled down to about 100. And that entire day, they drilled us on, you know, setting us up in different groups of background vocalists based on voice part. And I was just, you know, doing what I was, you know, I know to do. They kept separating us into these big groups, putting us in different parts of the studio, and then they wouldn't tell us anything. We would just be sitting there for like hours on end. Then all of a sudden they came in and said, okay, if you're in this room, please come with us to the next room, or come with us outside.
Right.
So we walk out. Okay, you've made it to the next round. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm seeing people that are like really, really dope artists and vocalists that I know personally that didn't make it.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, what is going on? So then they put us in this one last final group, and they said, okay, if you're still here, you come back tomorrow. Whittled us down to 25. Came back the next day. At this point, my nerves are like shot.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, am I about to like get into this, you know, band? So the next day they drilled us again, kept shifting us into groups or whatever. And I kept making it to the next round. Finally made it to the very final round. And they put us in these groups and drilled us again in front of the producers this time. And I was like, okay, this is a little different. We started seeing them shuffling papers and pictures and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And at that point, I almost felt I was going to throw up. Like, it was that nerve-wracking. And they started calling people's names. And they only called the pretty people. I was devastated. But out of 25,000 people, I made it to one of 25. Yeah. And I'm not even mad, because the show never really aired the full season. Right. And nobody that made it went on tour with them, so it didn't really matter at that point.
Because they didn't use any background vocalists when they went on tour.
They did not.
It was all pre-recorded tracks.
Yep.
Right.
So I wasn't even mad. I mean, I made some really dope friends for life. Different singers and musicians that are touring musicians now with bigger artists. So that was my like crazy audition experience.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Mine is the Apollo. Mine is, first of all, I got tricked to even audition because my management team at that time told me we were going someplace else, and it wound up being Harlem at the Apollo Theater, and they do like this little audition like space where they take you there first to audition. And I was so mad at them because they knew I didn't like singing competitions.
Wait, y'all didn't plan that?
No, they planned it.
I did not know this.
I didn't.
Wow.
I got told when we rolled up to the building, and I was able, unfortunately, I'm just gonna let this out. I was able to bypass the line because of who they knew, but I still had to audition. So I was up in this room. We waited there for like an hour. It was like maybe like an hour and a half. And I was pissed. Inside, I was like, I don't want to do this competition. I don't like competitions. And that's just for my own personal reasons. I just don't like competing against other people. It just doesn't make sense to me. And so they knew I was pissed. And so they were like, prepare your song or whatever. And I wound up singing, I sang Say Yes. And I sang Say Yes in an angry way. And I guess that was enough for the judges.
I need an example.
Right, like it was just angry. Like it was just like, I don't know.
There is only for me.
It was like, yeah, like, and I didn't even care. Wow. And so apparently that was enough for people. And so then we wound up getting the call. It was like, I think it was either later on that night or it was the next day that we were going to do the show. And I was like, well, we're here now, so I guess I got to do the show. And so we did, this was the crazy part. We did, because it's two different shows. So there's Amateur Night at the Apollo, and then there's Showtime at the Apollo. Yeah. So Amateur Night at the Apollo is the one that they don't air. And so I had to do 3 shows that day. So the first show, I had won first place. The second show, I won second place. And then the third show, I won third place. And so, yeah. And so it was weird. And then the whole night was so like exciting in the moment, because it was just something about the Apollo audience that was like, actually just like, I found myself in the moment. And so it was one of the producers that came up to me and they were like, yeah, how would you like to be a part of Showtime at the Apollo? And I was like, yeah, I would love to do it. And then I was like, 2 seconds later, after I responded, I was like, wait, I wasn't supposed to answer this. I was supposed to let management, like, so we can have a discussion. And I wound up agreeing. And then the next thing you know, they found my management down in the green room. One of my managers at that time. And they had a discussion. They set the dates on when we were supposed to do it. And then they gave us the criteria. And when I had to film on that day, I had to still sing the song that I auditioned with initially. So it was still Say Yes throughout this whole entire competition. And so the day of filming for Showtime, it was all 3 shows were done in a day. And it was crazy because the audience just kind of recycles. Like they let people in and then they let them out. Some people will still show up again. Some people will go out. Some people will still show up again. And so I won the first show, won the second show. By the time the third show came, it was people from both first show and second show. So the show that you guys see is all of the hype from all these other shows from this last buildup. And so it was crazy because it was so cold in the green room. I felt like I was losing my voice. And that last performance, I was like, okay, I got to push everything out because if I don't, like, all of this was not worth it. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And now I'm over all of this filming. Yes. And so I gave every little bit I had. So that's why you guys see me just like, there's no consistency in how my movements are and anything. It's just that. Mind you, so all of that was done in the same day. So I'm changing clothes to make it look like it was a new show each and every time. So, and then I won that one, and then it was the confirmation on the big show. Now the big show where we won the big grand prize money, for some reason is nowhere to be found. I thought I was not going to win that one, because it was this one girl that came on and sang, And I'm Telling You.
Oh, God.
And to me, she sang down. And I was like, my little soft tones ain't gonna be nothing compared to all of this growling and support and oomph. But I wound up winning and I was very surprised. And yeah, that's my story.
So those are our audition stories.
Right.
I mean, there's more. I mean, I really hate auditioning. And I only do it if I really feel like there's a reason to do so.
Right.
Like, I auditioned to open for Fantasia.
Right.
I didn't win, but I still got to open for it.
Yeah.
Which was great. And this was right around the time of the Side Effects of You album. The Lose to Win single had just came out, and she did this big show in New York, and my mom was there. My friend Rachel was there. Like, it was just a dope experience. And I sang to her. At the end of the show, I got to sing to her, and then she just spoke a lot of words of life into me, which was amazing. What was another one? The most recent one was Songland on NBC, which kind of happened by accident. Somebody was like, you should go audition for them to do like an open mic thing. I'm like, okay, no problem. And they wanted me on the show. They just gave me the worst contract ever. I didn't sign it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really like doing auditions too much because I don't feel like you should really compare people's talent.
Right.
You can compare stats and numbers and accolades, but as far as talent, it's subjective. Like, if you just like somebody's vibe, you like their vibe.
Right. And that's just it.
That's why I've never really liked the gospel competitions.
Same.
Like the Sunday Best or whatever.
Same.
And I also don't like these singing competitions because they don't really prepare you for after.
No.
Like, a lot of these competitions will sign you to an agreement that you have to stick with for the next 3 years, even if you didn't win.
Right.
We know people that have had to go through that, where they've been on shows like American Idol or The Voice or whatever, and they're stuck because that TV show or whatever company, they own them and their likeness for a certain amount of time. Oh, we got questions? Oh, we got questions. Come on with the questions. Go on and hit the little button thing.
Oh. Yeah. I was like...
It'll pop up on the live.
Right. What made Songland's contract the worst? Steve is asking that.
I guess since the show is off the air, I can talk about it. And since I didn't sign it, I can talk about it too. I wasn't held to no confidentiality.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we got 10 minutes left. So I'll try to get through this quick.
Oh wow.
The problem with Songland is that while it is a songwriting competition, it is not for the songwriter. It is for the artist who then puts the song out and makes money off of it. The artist then adds themselves as a songwriter to the song, even if they had nothing to do with it. And you now must split your publishing or royalties from the sale of that song with that artist. What was crazy for me was the artists that were on the show, I've already written for. So it was really weird. It was like, so I gotta do a competition for y'all to just get a piece of my coin when y'all should have just accepted the same songs that I've submitted before to you anyway.
Right.
Now you're gonna ask me to submit them again? Like, it was just weird.
Right.
Aside from that, they also wanted to own my life. And this is like the NBC part of it. So they were talking about stuff like, if you get on the show, number one, the money that you make from winning is piddly. I would only stand.
Come on, piddly.
I would only stand to win up to like $800 if I won.
And that's which
is pointless. I'm thinking it's gonna be like a $10,000 prize or publishing deal. No, you get $800 for being on TV and you go home.
That's not it.
And then they also said, like, we reserve the right to go into your social media history, and if we find anything about you that we think could be either incriminating or embarrassing or possibly ratings boosting for the show, then we're going to use it. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Right.
Not that I care who knows my business, but I don't want my life to be used as fodder for your TV show.
Exactly.
Like, that's some crazy shit. And then the problem that I had with it, at least I had the wherewithal to think about it first before I just signed the contract and said, let's go.
Right.
Other people, because they're desperate for a win or desperate for fame, they're going to sign it without thinking and then get caught up in the machine.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Do
I think that I gave up on an opportunity that could have been really good for my life? Possibly, because I could have made a huge fan base from being on TV. like some of the friends that I know that have been on TV have done.
Right.
But I didn't want to risk my ownership or my integrity by signing that contract.
And that is what allows you to sleep at night.
Yes. Let's see.
What we got in there?
Steve says, I only ask because you both are tough on contracts. You have to be. You have to be, because these contracts are not made for your benefit. Most business is not made for the person getting into it. Mm-hmm. It's made for the person who's controlling it.
Yes.
So when these contracts come about, like, I literally sat and read through this contract because I vowed never to do a reality show competition, ever. And I was like, this one is different because the songwriting is what I do. And, I'm a placed songwriter, so this would be a really dope way to get more placements. But this is also a TV competition. Mm-hmm. So it's different. It's not going to be the regular, publishing deal that you would normally get as a songwriter.
Right.
This is definitely something different, and I just didn't want to sign my life away.
It's a TV opportunity.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. You're signing to be a character.
Yeah. And I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make up no story. That's the other thing. I don't have no story. Like, I have a story, but it's not like, oh my God, like my father died when I was very young, and or I sang in church, and I was in the choir every day, and I just knew I had a dream and I had to get out the hood. Like, I didn't have that story.
Right.
My story was, I like music and I like to do it, and I'm doing it. It wasn't going to be interesting, and I didn't want anybody making anything up just for ratings. Like, I didn't want anybody convoluting my talent and the work that I've put in just so that another artist could come in who's made it to take away from me.
Right.
Like, the people that were on the show are songwriters. So why would you need me to write your song for you?
That was the weird thing. Yeah, that was the weird thing. Like,
and then Rona happened. Yeah. And I would have been out in California. When Rona happened, I wouldn't be able to get home.
Right. You would have
been pissed.
You would have been stuck out there for like 3 weeks.
And they wasn't paying for it. So like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're just agreeing. Okay. Yeah.
Was there anything else? Scroll up.
Yeah, Mom just said you can go to YouTube to see the Showtime at the Apollo show, McDonald's Gospel Fest.
Oh yeah.
That one made me mad because that was back when I was still doing gospel, and I was really, really, really excited about that. And when I went to audition in the room, what did I sing? I sang "He Looked Beyond My Faults," which is one of my favorite hymns.
Right.
My mom's favorite song that she likes to hear me sing. And I sang it at my grandmother's funeral. No, I'm sorry, at my Aunt Rosie's funeral. And when I sang it, the entire panel of judges was in tears.
Wow.
And they were like, "Oh my God, you just touched us so much. Like, I can't believe." And I was like, "Well, thank you so much." 2 weeks later, we'd like you to be a part of the choir. I'm like, "Oh, okay, well." I said, "No, thank you."
Wow.
I was really upset about that one. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
How do you move people and then they throw you in a choir?
Yeah. But that's when I had dreads and I was still dressing like Music Soul Child, and so they probably thought that I wasn't the gospel look because the people that wound up winning had on suits and nice haircuts and all that kind of stuff.
Got you. Got you.
There's still all that nonsense in gospel too.
And this, it's very much a music business, even in the gospel industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a crazy thing to me. Like, you would, just like push talent to the side because it just doesn't match a look criteria or like you know what I mean? Like,
but that's the thing. It's business. If you look at Sunday's Best, if you look at even the winners from American Idol and all that kind of stuff, where are they?
Right.
Who are these people?
Right.
The only people that you know are like the earlier winners.
The earlier winners, when the things were really like legit contracts and people were actually putting effort behind them.
Exactly.
Yeah, but now it's really all of these shows are more so for the judges that are on them.
Mm-hmm. That's not going to be our talent show.
No,
it's not for us.
No,
I mean, you're helping us get some views by telling your friends and family that you can watch Tired Tuesdays on November 24th,
right?
So that we can see you perform,
right?
But we really want y'all to show,
like,
show yourselves,
and I mean show all the way out. So yeah,
I mean, like if you want lights and and smoke machines,
right?
Dancers,
do your whole performance,
do your whole thing. You only have up to a minute, but do your whole
right.
We want to see what you guys do, and I know that you'll see all the details when you post the flyer and everything like that, and all the rules and everything. It's not just about the prize that we're going to give, but it's also about the platform. My biggest goal is to provide a platform for other artists to show who they are.
Right.
And so by doing this, it's a way for us to do that. And I really am excited to see what y'all put together. So if you guys want to perform, start posting about it now. We're going to post a flyer after the show goes off tonight. Right after. And then, tag us in it and let us know that you're going to get ready. So you got 2 weeks to get it done. Right. And we're going to give our commentary. Mm-hmm. It's going to be gentle. Mm-hmm. It's going to be real. Mm-hmm. But it will not be mean-spirited. No. Okay? No. They called me Simon Cowell last week, and I resent that. That's why I called him Paula. But he's always so politically correct and nice. Straight up, now tell me, do you really want to know? That is Janet Jackson. Don't mix those two. Oh, unless did Paula choreograph that? She did. She did choreograph that. Never mind. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Paula was choreographing. Yeah. That's Paula. Straight up. Now tell me, but you were doing a Janet Jackson. Oh, yeah. I was like, I know I ain't wrong. Oh my God. But yeah, it will be with love. That was not convincing whatsoever. That was the most. Why does everybody think I'm going to be so mean? I don't know. That was such a Mariah Carey moment. Like, you love everybody. I mean, I'm not going to embarrass you. I don't want to do that because I've been embarrassed before. Like, no shade. Cheryl Pepsi Riley embarrassed me while I was on stage at Milk River in Brooklyn, and I still don't like her to this day because of that. And yikes! Unfortunately, I still hold it against her. I probably need to let it go, but she was mean to me, and I didn't like it. So I would not embarrass anybody else because I would not want to be embarrassed myself. I know that's right. Amen. Sorry, Cheryl Pepsi Riley, if you see this, but you really embarrassed me. It was bad. There needs to be a discussion. I'm good. But okay. If she does see it, this needs to be a discussion because you need to know and respect people. That's just that Village Underground lifestyle. Yeah, but I think she's gotten better with that, though. I wouldn't know. I haven't been to none of her shows after that point. So bless God. Yes, I'm gonna let it go. Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let it go. Yes. So anyway, you guys have 2 weeks to prepare your performances. I'm excited to see what everybody comes up with. I am too. And like I said, if you guys want to perform, we'll post all the information tonight after the show goes off. And tag us. Let us know that you're ready to perform because we will be looking for you. Yes. On November 24th. Yes. We promise to be on time. Yes. 7 o'clock. Okay. Depending on how many people sign up to perform or want to perform, right, we may have to do a 2-hour. Right. So we'll be prepared to do that as well. Right. Yeah. And we're going to discuss. We will let you guys know at the end of the show who the top 3 performers are. And then the following week, we will announce the winner. This is so exciting. I'm really excited to see what you guys bring to the table. Like, yes. This is going to be so much fun. Yes. And I mean, be serious. Like, this is... Tired Tuesdays is a fun, happy, thing that we do. But when it comes to our music, we are very serious about our shit. Right. So we want you guys to bring it. We want you guys to wow us. Yeah. We want you guys to do your good singing. Good singing. And if your good singing has the wrong notes, but it's still good, we'll let you know. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we feel you instead of hear. Yeah. And I will definitely let you know if I felt. Yeah. Cause feeling is me. I it has to be felt. Amen. Yeah, wow us. Like I want to be like I want to be shocked. Like, this is on Instagram. Why y'all ain't got no album out? Like, right. That's what I want. Like, I want to buy the album. I want to come to the show. Like, that's what I want to see. Right. So I'm excited for this. Same. I'm really excited for this. So yeah, that's it. Anybody else got anything else before we go? I think our time is up. That's all we got. Yeah, that's all we got. Oh wow. Yeah. Wow, that went fast quick. It did. But that's fine. So anyway, you guys, thank you for joining us today. I know it's been a weird day, but it's going to keep being weird as 2020 goes along. So
Let's just get out of this.
Exactly. Y'all tune in next week.
Together.
We will have another episode for you. If you missed tonight or any part of tonight,
right,
check out for the full replay on YouTube on Monday.
Yep.
And that's it. We love y'all for watching. Thank you so much.
Yes. Love y'all. Have a great night.
Bye.
Truth is, I'm tired.